हरिः ॐ शन्नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. In my last recording, I explained to you the fourth and fifth lessons. I hope that you understood well. Now, regarding the sixth lesson, here symbolic expressions of the planets. This also I explained to you in the first level. I read again just for information. Instead of I am, you call it sun. Here what Master is telling us, instead of taking the planets as separate entities, or instead of taking our thoughts, our mind, our force, whatever we have in our body, in ourself, as separate entities, you have to mix these two in a symbolic way so that you will understand the correspondence between the planets and the inner faculties in the human beings. Instead of I am, you call it sun. Instead of mind, you call it moon. Instead of intellect, you call it Mercury. Instead of love, you call it Venus. Instead of power, you call it Mars. Instead of experience, you will understand everything in terms of certain symbols, and then these symbols will exist with you just as the letters in the keyboard of the typewriter exist. The way the keyboard in the typewriter, the way the keyboards are existing, in us also the planets are existing in ourselves as these qualities, right? Thereby you will be able to edit these symbols in the required manner. This is the practice part of the spiritual astrology. All these planets with their specific qualities, they are existing in us as the keyboard in us. So what we do with the keyboard in the typewriter, when you wanted to construct a line or a word, a sentence, a paragraph, what we do? We program that sentence in that particular language in our mind and in our language, and then we will try to type these letters according to the formation of the sentence in our mind, and then we will type it on the paper. The same thing we have to practice in ourselves also. So what we have to understand, what is the I am? We have to understand what is the purpose of the mind. We have to understand what is the purpose of the power. We have to understand what is the purpose of the intelligence. We have to understand what is the purpose of the wisdom or discrimination. We have to understand what is the real love, universal love, not emotion. We will understand what is the change according to the zodiacal periods. We have to understand what is ecstasy, absorbing, and we have to understand what is the labor, a service, perseverance. When we try to understand these different meters, like the keys and the keyboard, we have to reorganize our thought patterns to live a life according to the nature, or according to the laws of the nature, or according to the laws of the five elements, or according to the scriptures given to us by the seers or rishis or the great people. We have to chalk out a program to our life basing on all these things. That means you have to construct a sentence perfectly without any spelling mistakes, without any grammatical mistakes, and it should be very good, easily understandable, sometimes maybe poetic or whatever it may be. It should be perfect. That's how we have to reorganize the qualities of the planets in ourselves to lead a purposeful and meaningful life. That's the meaning of that paragraph. So what we are doing generally, we believe in the fate. So we believe whatever is there in the horoscope, it will happen. We cannot stop it. We cannot change it. That means we are believing the fate and leave everything to the fate. So can we change anything? Can we change the planets in the houses or planets in the signs? No, we cannot change it. So Rumi, a great philosopher, the master, he says, it is a wonderful teaching. Today morning I have posted in my Facebook. She says it is a wonderful teaching. You see, I will read it to you. I will read it to you. Yesterday, it is not by Rumi, it is by somebody. It is Rumi. It is by Rumi. Yesterday, I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Because yesterday I was so clever, I wanted to change the world. That is in the name of the service, or in the name of the masters, or in the name of the scriptures, in the name of the teaching, whatever it may be. We try to change the world. Everybody wanted to change the world. So we feel that it is our responsibility. We feel that it is the work given to us by the masters. We feel that it is the work assigned to us by the great people. We feel that it is our responsibility. It is our mission. What Rumi is saying, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. See how beautiful it is. When we are clever, we feel like changing the world. When we are wise, we feel like changing ourselves. If everybody changes himself or herself, where they need to change others? There is no need to change the others. You understand? So this is the teaching. That's why what I am going to impress upon your minds. So if you have your horoscope in your hand, try to find out the potentialities. Either any potentialities are there in you, any abilities are there, any strong points are there, or any weak points or negative points are there. And you have to chalk out, you have to figure out your life and plan your life according to that, working out the negative points and take the advantage of the positive points. And we have to create our own life, changing the patterns, and we have to take the advantage of the readings from the planets in our horoscope. That's it. Since we cannot change anything, at the same time we cannot allow things to happen on their own. Be the small line between the fate and the destiny and the free will. Right? Okay. Then the song of the year of Gayatri. Master is explaining about the Gayatri, the 24 nodal points. The Gayatri is the song of the year. For example, the song of the year is of our Gayatri. For example, if you take one solar year, you will find 12 new moons and 12 full moons alternating in 1 year, and you will come to understand that there are 12 repetitions in the year, which we call months. Then you will understand that there are 24 nodal points in the year. 24 nodal points means 12 moons and the 12 full moons and 12 new moons. It's 24. This is what Master is explaining here. The ancients called it the song of the year. These 12 full moons and the 12 full moons put together come to 24. The ancients called it as the song of the year. This is the Gayatri. It is called the music of the year too. It is called the music of the year too. It has also been called the meter of Gayatri by the ancient sages. In Indian poetry, not in the modern poetry, in the ancient and old poetry, if you want to write a poem, we follow certain methods. It is called chandas. Chandas means the master used the word meter. If we use the meter, we write the poems in separate styles. Each style we use some meter. In Gayatri Chandas, Gayatri meter, we use 24 syllables. In some other stanzas, we use 18 or 20, whatever it may be. But in Gayatri, we use 24 syllables. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha, both are same. This is not the part of Gayatri mantra. We are the three planes. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. Gayatri is from this Om Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. This is Gayatri. If you count, you will get, you please count with Om. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha. Leave it. Om Tatsavitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Yes. Now you add Om also here. Om Tatsavitur Varenyam. You count, you will get 24 syllables. Right. These 24 syllables, Master used for the 24 nodal points. That means 12 new moons and the 12 full moons. They have arranged it so because they wanted to give you the secrets of the 24 nodal points of the year. After they divided the 24 into 3 equal parts, they could understand some more secrets. Step by step, gradually, they gave us all the secrets of astrology in order to make you understand your position. So what Master explained here, he did not explain elaborately about this division of 3, 24 by 3 is equal to 8. Like that, there are so many divisions in the zodiac, so many divisions in the year, and all are, when we put together all these things into one frame, we will find lot of secrets in the astrology, in the spiritual astrology, or in the sadhana also. When we go to the spiritual astrology third level, then Master explain lot of things like this. Okay. Now let us go to the second level. So second level, 7th lesson, space globe and the mother's womb. This is one of the most important points in the astrology. This particular technique or calculation, whatever it may be, they use both in spiritual astrology and in the predictive astrology or horary astrology also. This is very important. There is a book by E.H. Bailey, a lady gynecologist, a lady doctor gynecologist. She has written that book, The Prenatal Epoch. Whatever Master is explaining here, most of the things she tried to explain these things. It's a very big book to find out the time of the fertilization in the womb. Okay, I will try to explain in a simple way. One more thing to be observed is what, when you stand on this earth, you will find a horizon, and if you look at the earth, you will find another horizon. One more thing to be observed is that when you stand on this earth, so when you stand on this earth, you will find a horizon. You will find a horizon if you stand on the earth. And if you look at the earth, you will find another horizon. If you look at the earth, you will find another horizon. If you look from outside towards the earth, you will find a horizon. When you stand on the earth, if you look at the sky, you will find another horizon. There is half space globe above and half space globe below. Half space globe above and half space globe below. Master explained very beautifully about the tortoise and the formation of the North Pole and the South Pole, and how the human beings were there when only the North Pole is there, and after that South Pole is formed, and then what difference has taken place. All these things Master explained in spiritual astrology. We will deal with that later. That's how it appears when you stand on the earth and look towards east and west. That's how they are able to understand the correspondence between the space globe around you and your mother's womb and you are born in. He is bringing the science inside, from the macrocosm to the microcosm. Master is asking us Understand the correspondence between the space globe and around you and your mother's womb when you are born. The correspondence between the globe around you and in the mother's womb. You know how small the egg is in the mother's womb. The egg is so small, like the banyan seed, you see. The child lies in a particular position, that is in the half globe position. If you watch any video, how the small egg and slowly the head comes first, and then the child, like spinal cord and the two eyes, all these things slowly coming out. And after the entire baby is formed, then if you see the baby is in a half circle position. He sleeps like that. You understand? That is what his master is telling. The child lies in a particular position, that is in the half globe position. At the time of the fertilization of the child in the womb, if you find the planets' positions around the horizon, you will find the correspondence on the limbs of the child. So this is another very important point, both in predictive astrology and the spiritual astrology. When you look at the sky and at the horizon and the planets around the horizon, when you look inside and the baby is lying in a half circle position, and then you will find a correspondence between the planets at the horizon and with a boy or a girl inside the womb. There is a correspondence, what Master is telling. For example, if the sun were to be rising at the time of the birth, the effect of the sun is there on the head of the child. That means when a boy or girl, when a baby is born, at that time the sun is rising in the east, towards the east. The effect of the sun is there on the head of the child. That is, simply speaking, if the sun is in the ascendant, that is a simple explanation. What is the ascendant? We should not be confused between the ascendant and the sun, right? Sun in a particular house is called sun sign. Sun is in the Leo, it is called sun sign is Leo. The sun is in Virgo, it is called sun sign is Virgo. The sun is in Cancer, we call sun sign is Cancer. That is not ascendant. Ascendant means, it is a simple explanation. When a baby is born in any country, in any place, in any corner of the world, when the baby is born, when you look at the east, or you can calculate, some sign is rising. That particular sign is called this baby's ascendant. This is the simple thing. The sign which is rising in the east at the time of the birth of a child, that sign is called ascendant. You understand? So, the ascendant is the sun were to be rising at the time of the birth. Sun were to be rising means when it is in the east. Rising means in the east. So, that particular sign is become the ascendant. The effect of the sun is there on the head of the child. Directly the sun rays affects the head of this baby, right? So this explains certain things related to these 10 months. So even at the fertilization time also, in the east the sun is rising, it affects the baby in the womb also. Master is comparing between the birth time and also the time of the fertilization, right? That means the head suffers from too much overheat throughout the life of the person, and the person is never expected to sustain the heat of the sun in the summer. When the sun is on the head, what happened if you go to the sun in the midsummer without any hat, right? If you go to the sun and stand sometime, what happens? You feel like some giddiness comes because of the bright sun. Directly sunlight is coming to our Sahasrara, our head center. There is no hat. Then what happens? So many people they will faint, right? So many people they will have perspiration. Some people they fall down. Why? Because they cannot sustain the heat of the sun. Not all, only few people. Some people are prone to cold winds. Some people suffers with the hot sun. Some people suffers with the very cold. Some people are comfortable with the cold. Some people are comfortable with the sun. But when the sun is there on the ascendant, be careful. Don't expose yourself to the sun, or in the summer you will have some problems with the sun. If somebody wanted to go outside, when sun is there in the ascendant in the birth chart, they should take all proper care. Otherwise, they will get sunstroke, right? The effect is there is such an extent that when he goes to near the equator, he will get sunstroke. If he is going, if somebody is having sun in the ascendant, he will have this problem anywhere in the world. The next thing is, if you are going to the near to the equator, for example, then they will have much more effect of the sun, and they may also get the sunstroke. Similarly, suppose Saturn is in the western horizon at the time and place where a child is born, then it corresponds with the feet of the child. For example, the person will have suppose Saturn is in the western horizon at the time and place where the child is born, then it corresponds to the feet of the child. For example, the person will have rheumatic troubles related to the legs, especially in the feet. The circulation of the blood will be very sluggish, and from the middle age itself the person will starve. Like this, the astrologers find correspondences between the sky and our body. In this context, the east is understood as the correspondence with the start of the egg in the mother's womb. The whole of the egg corresponds with the space around us from east again to east. This is Master explained. What Master is explaining, suppose at the time of the fertilization, so in the western side, the Saturn is there. Western side means the 7th house. Eastern side means the first house. Western is 7th house. When the Saturn is there, they will have the problem with the feet and the circulation problem, and with the legs, especially the feet. The circulation of blood will be very sluggish, and from the middle age itself, the person will starve. Like this, astrologist has to calculate the chart and find out. And here, what Master explained, the correspondence between the time of the birth and the time of the fertilization, both are very important. How to calculate the time of the fertilization, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. E.H. Bailey, in her book The Prenatal Epoch, she has calculated how to she has explained, she has given a lot of calculations how to calculate the time of the fertilization. That let us go to that afterwards, right? So with this, 6th and 7th lessons are over. In the next recording, I will explain you the 8th and the 9th lessons. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahishaha gobrahmanebhya somastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti.